Welcome to Konoha Crush, a clandestine effort to exhaustively research and document events occurring in and around the village hidden in the leaves. I'm Myra.
I'm Gwen.
Hi, hey, we're here. We're here to talk about Naruto again. It's another week. How's it going? How's it been?
Oh my god, hey. It's been pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a week. It's
Mm-hmm.
I got new glasses.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're cute.
They are cute. Thank you for asking.
This is really, I don't know what this energy we're bringing here at the top of this episode is, but I hope you all enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. God, you actually haven't seen them yet. I haven't taken any new pictures.
Oh, well, I mean, if you're feeling up for it, I'd love to. I don't know if he's staying in, but I'll take any opportunity for it with my wife.
Oh, it's staying in.
Okay, that's cool.
This might be the first time you've called me your wife on podcast.
Oh shit! Oh my god! Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I feel like I've called you my wife so many times that I'm surprised that it hasn't bled through to the show. But
I mean, maybe I'm missing something, but
I could just be complaining all the time to set it on your streams and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but in case any of you didn't know, we're wives.
We're kind of wifed up.
Kind of wifed up.
Yeah, God. So, I don't know. Fuck. You do anything else this week? Anything else you want to talk about before we? I mean, I can say some stuff too, right? But I'm just curious.
No, I don't really have anything to talk about, unfortunately.
Okay. I mean, for me, it's a lot of I've been I've been maintaining my seasonal anime viewing pretty well. I'm still watching Gundam. We all love Choo Choo. She's the hero of space. We all, I've been watching Do It Yourself. It's a fucking delight every week. Been watching Bocchi the Rock. Episode 3 was just a fucking banger.
Episode 3 was really good.
Have you been watching that now?
Yeah, I started watching it. It's really cute. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's just it's got such a great energy to it. It's I don't know, I'm just so enthused about watching it. It's just damn, they just made this really well. They just did a really good job making this thing. It's that's fucking nothing to say, but it's what I've said. It's on the record now.
I mean, they did.
They did. The girls are fun. The visuals are fun. What more do you need? What else? I still haven't watched any Chainsaw Man past the first episode. I'm not committed to not doing that. I just haven't yet.
Same.
If you were waiting for more Chainsaw Man takes, you might have to wait a little bit. I know this was a big Hironori Tonic episode this week, which I'm kind of excited by. I really love the guy's Precure work. And I know he's pretty far removed from his Precure work at this point, but I do really like his Precure work. Fuck, I don't know. Do I have anything else at all to say? Or do you just want to get into our episodes? Do we just we're having a quick and breezy one this time, maybe?
Yeah, I guess we're just having a quick and breezy one. Let's just get into the episodes.
Yeah, okay.
Episode 113. Full Throttle Power. Choji ablaze. Neji confirms Jirobo's all alone, and after some taunting, Kiba and Naruto try to get his ass. Jirobo overwhelms the kids, and they retreat to make a plan. Shikamaru wants to split up into 2 teams, and their meeting gets interrupted. Jirobo tosses a huge mound of earth at the group, and sneaks up on Shikamaru to toss him around by the ankles and call him a shitty leader. Choji can't abide this idiot talking about his bro like this, and tells the rest to go on ahead, while he deals with Jirobo. The boys aren't sure about this, but Choji assures them that he has a secret weapon, and reveals a trio of multicolored food pills. He takes the first one, and grapples Jirobo to a standstill as the other boys make their escape. When he's in the clear, he knocks Jirobo's footing loose, and throws him by the belt.
Okay, so this episode, this half of the episode in particular, wound up being very interesting to me. Toshia Niodome, who storyboarded this, is again, I've mentioned him a lot of times, is just the most recurring storyboarder on this first part of Naruto, right? Just extremely prolific, and what that means is a lot of the time, his boards will be very direct, beat for beat. Here's what's in the manga, we'll put it in the anime. That is not the case here. The chapter that this half of the episode is happening is very, very heavily restructured. It's one of those times where I kind of feel like, oh yeah, the version of this we have in the anime is just like a lot better than what's in the manga, and not even because like this part of the episode is like especially good. There's like some kind of like clumsy stuff. There's some moments where I look at it and go like, what? Well, I'm not entirely sure what is like being conveyed to me with the action here or whatever. I just think the chapter it's adapting is like really bad and like really like weightless and stiff in ways I was like kind of stunned by, especially like looking at it in command with this episode. Like, but basically, in the manga version of this, like for the entire time, Jirobo is basically like just standing there while everybody talks. And like he does his big like picking up a rock and like throwing it thing, but then he just goes back to like standing there for the rest of this.
Mm-hmm.
And they do a lot to make him like present in the scene. In a way, he's just it doesn't feel like he is in the manga version, right? And they just like restructured a lot of it. So it's like, well, I will like hopefully remember to talk about it as we like go through this, right? But I just wanted to like establish that at the top because like that is that is like the big framework I'm like approaching this half the episode from, just because of like how different those things wind up being.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so like everybody like breaks out of like Jirobo's rock jail, right? And like Naruto and Kiba are like, yeah, we're gonna get his ass, and then she's like, hey, wait, we should like be smart about this, and like Naruto and Kiba are obviously like, yeah, no, actually we can fucking take him because we broke his rock prison, so I mean we can defeat him easily, and then they like run up and get like the shit kicked out of them a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which again, like it is which is like the first like this is like the first structural change, right? Like in the like in the manga here, Jirobo like rather than like punching like Kiba and Naruto really quick, he like just goes, actually no, you aren't going to hit me. Then he picks up a big rock and throws it. Which is like significantly earlier in this like encounter than that happens in the anime, right?
Yeah.
But here he's like, but here in the anime he's like, I'm gonna put you back in rock jail again, actually. And Choji does like a weird technique where he like does human boulder, but he starts spinning around like horizontally.
Mm-hmm.
And that stops it. Which is like great for him, I guess. But it's again like it's like I always say, like there are like in spite of like me being like, oh yeah, this is better than the manga, there are like moments where I'm like, I am not entirely sure what's being conveyed here. I don't really know how this helps.
Mm-hmm.
Like it gives them like a dust cloud to like fall back and stuff, right? It doesn't really seem to engage with the like threat of the like making a second rock prison.
Well, maybe it's just kind of the thing where it's like when it's being constructed, it's just dirt.
Yeah, okay. He's just making it all shake and stuff. It's not holding together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, you gotta get him more caught off guard than that. That's fine. I can like I can accept that it works, right? I just
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Choji does the spinning thing, and they fall back, and they have their little meeting.
Yeah, and like Shikamaru is like talking about like, okay, we're gonna like split up into two teams. Like Naruto and I are gonna hang back and handle him. The rest of you go on ahead. Neji, you be the leader. Which is like when I first watched this, I was like kind of taken aback, right? Because just looking at this from the perspective of like, okay, we're doing like the matchups for our like shonen battle manga arc, I was like, this is totally fucked. This is nonsense. Why would you have like these aren't the guys who make fight each other at all? But like thinking about it beyond that level a little bit, it's like, okay, like I guess it makes sense, right? Because like like Neji and like Kiba are like important for like the pursuit of things, and like Shikamaru like fully believes Choji is like their strongest guy, so he wants a heavy hitter around for like whatever happens going forward. And like by the same token, Shikamaru is like obviously person who's very quick to like, actually I'm not worth shit, and also he like kind of thinks Naruto sucks a little bit. So like from that perspective, it makes a little sense. But like I definitely had that gut reaction of like, wait, this is fucking terrible booking. What are you doing here? Why do you think this will work? Because I just like forgot to think about this on terms of like what the story could be doing.
Yeah.
And like obviously it doesn't happen that way anyway, right? Obviously it's gonna be Choji's fight.
Yeah.
Because again, like when you're doing your like matchups for your shonen battle manga arc, you have the two big guys fight each other and do like impressive strong guy shit at each other, But like just sort of another like way those two angles of this thing sort of like interplay with each other.
Yeah, but then Jirobo figures out where they are, throws a big rock at them.
Right, like before there's a big rock, he just like fucking like slams Spawn with the ground, just like knocks out all the trees around, and be like, oh hey, there's a shit you're hiding behind, assholes. I think this is like kind of a fun element that like because this episode like adds so much to, like what Jirobo is doing. Is like throughout a lot of this fight, you get the sense of him as like, oh yeah, he's the guy who will like he like he is very strong, but he's also like good at like using that strength to like gain information or like create a misdirection for him to like move faster than people expect. Like it's like a little bit of like it's a little like extra element of like seeming of like making him seem like a competent antagonist that like doesn't really happen in the manga, where he mostly just stands there and like insults people in this entire chapter.
Yeah.
But yeah, he like throws the big rock. Everybody like jumps out of the way of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like again, this is another instance like both like some of the particulars of these events and like a lot of the and like a lot of like the order of them is like very changed, right? Like because again, like before like Shikamaru has this talk, like Jirobo like throws the big rock, and like in the manga, rather than everybody dodging it, like Choji does like a trick where he like does human boulder and just like spins in place and has the boulder like land on him and it shatters it. Which like is in theory sort of like, yeah, okay, that's a fine thing to do, but like in the manga, it just kind of looks like he's like launching debris at all of his friends. I'm gonna put this in the images channels and I'll post that on the Twitter, but like he has put everybody in more danger.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like from there, like Choji like in the manga, Choji like rams into Jirobo, and then like they start fighting a bit, and then it's only after that Shikamaru has his like, okay, we need to talk strategy here thing, which is just like a weird moment where like the fight that is going to happen is already started, but then like Shikamaru's like, wait, hold on, let's back up, and everybody just fucking like waits it out, and it's just this like just fucking devastating blow to like the momentum of the whole scene.
Yeah, I'm glad they touched it up the way they did for the anime.
Yeah, and like from there, right? Like Shikamaru like establishes like here's how we're splitting up, right? And like Shikamaru's like ready to like you use this like shadow possession jutsu on Jirobo, and he's like about to send it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the anime, like Shikamaru's like is like sending out and like trying to do like a misdirection where he like puts it in like he sends a shadow into like some cracks in the ground that like Jirobo made to like sneak it behind him, but Jirobo just like fucking punches the ground more and leaves, right?
Yeah.
In the manga, in what is like just a tremendously adept page of comics, like I'm not trying to like rag on Kishimoto like too hard. I think there's like even in the stuff we've like covered, there's some like good looking stuff. I think he's generally like pretty solid at this. And like sometimes it is like you have to do one of these every week, and like sometimes some shit slips. But like the page in the manga where like the thing with like Shikamaru sending out his shadow position jutsu is like basically entirely like close-ups on people's faces, and Jirobo goes like, "Hey, your jutsu won't work," and Shikamaru's like, "Shit," and then he like stops doing it. With like no further accompanying visuals at all. It's just kind of baffling to me, right? Whereas like in the anime, like Jirobo's like he's throwing around his big rock and he's using that big throw to like fucking be somewhere else that they don't expect it to. There's like the bit where he like fucking burst like like in the manga he's just kind of like standing there and berating Shikamaru, but in the anime he like goes underground and like picks up Shikamaru, like twirls him over his head and throws him around, which is like kind of silly, but like a lot more fun than him just standing there while everybody just sort of like waits around, right?
Yeah, he's like doing things instead of just standing around being like, "Don't fight me, I'm stronger than you," and then they like believe him and don't.
Like, well, yeah, like, well, like, I guess he's stronger than us. Maybe we shouldn't fight him, but we have to. And like by having like Shikamaru being like tossed around, you can have like Choji like run in and like catch him, right? And like so Choji is like more directly involved in the scene of like Shikamaru being berated and like directly interfering it. So like he's got that like he's already got that like physically established presence in the scene by the time he chooses to like interrupt it and be like, "Hey, this is my fight actually."
Yeah.
Like again, it is just one of those things where like I don't think any of the like storytelling chops on display here in this episode are like tremendously impressive here, right? Like it's all like pretty normal, but like it just feels like this hugely elevated thing where when you look at like this specific chapter of the manga where like none of that is happening at all.
Yeah.
And like similarly, they like hugely cut down on the time where like Choji like from when Choji like steps in to be like, "Hey, I'm gonna fight this guy," to like the point where like he actually starts clashing with Jirobo, right? They basically like fully have the conversation and leave before Jirobo's like, okay, well now I'm gonna fight Choji. Whereas in the anime, Jirobo like starts moving into attack again, and Choji has to interfere with him, and then like do his like food pills and stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's just this weird moment where like for once the manga is the one that just feels like it's like really like dragging its feet and like stretching everything out to like get to the point of the of like here's where this half of the episode or here's where this episode ends, rather than like the anime, which is the sort of thing that winds up in that position more often just because like it's adapting like often fairly limited chunks of the comic.
Mm-hmm.
And like it doesn't even like it doesn't even like really build to like a big moment in the manga either. Like at the end of the chapter here is just like, okay, they like clash for the first time. It doesn't even go all the way to like Choji starting to like turn it around and like tossing Jirobo around, right? Like it's just like, okay, well, come back next week for the actual fight. I don't know. So, sorry if I'm like harping on so much. It was just like a really weird experience to like to see this specific chapter and just be like, what is happening here? Usually this comic is better than this, and like usually there's just like a lot more parody between like the chapter I read and the episode I watch.
Maybe his tummy hurt that week.
Maybe his tummy hurt that week. I mean, hey, if your tummy hurts that week and you've got like a whole fucking like 20 pages of comics to draw, I mean, he's not doing it alone. He does his assistants and everything, but like sometimes you just kind of like you phone it in a little bit, and nobody can blame you. This is like you're just kind of phoning it in. Obviously, I'm like taking like a critical eye to it as like a person who like engaged with the manga and the anime as like units of visual storytelling, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to be like that fucking lazy son of a bitch because like fucking whatever.
Yeah, who cares?
I think like I'll be like ultimately it seems to have worked out right for him, but I think drawing a manga for Shonen Jump is like one of the like, well, it's not like a particularly comfortable job to work in. If you just fucking if you half-ass it every once in a while, then like, hey, you half-assed it that week, and it's fine.
Yeah, it's fucking Naruto. What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? It's fucking Naruto. You can fucking cancel Samurai 8, but you can't fucking cancel this shit.
God, can you imagine if they tried to cancel Naruto? Especially like this deep into it, like before, like earlier on, I could go.
It's like partway through like the tournament after the Forest of Death or whatever, and like suddenly Orochimaru attacks in the comic, and it's like, okay, well, like I that's kind of an abrupt spot, but like fucking it's tough getting your thing to run a long time in Shonen Jump. Sometimes you don't get that momentum behind it, but like by this point, that's just here to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, did you have anything else you want to say about this half of the episode? I feel like I kind of dominated the discussion here a little bit, but
No, I think that about covers it.
Okay.
Shikamaru explains Choji's fancy food pills and alludes to a downside as Choji's tummy cramps up. Choji knows he has to do this fast, so he reveals a new technique. It's human boulder with knives tied all around his body. Jirobo throws up a wall of earth to block, but Choji busts through, losing just enough momentum for Jirobo to catch him and bring him to a stop. The boys worry about how strong Akamaru says Jirobo is, as Jirobo activates his curse mark and sends Choji flying. Jirobo gives him shit about being the loser kid that gets left out all the time. But Choji knows Shikamaru doesn't see him like that. He eats the second pill and grows his arm big and huge.
Okay. Yeah, so Shikamaru and everybody are like hopping through the tree still. Shikamaru's talking about the special like food pill that Choji has. Talking about like, oh, it could be like really bad if he has to use all three of the pills, therefore like dooming Choji to have to use all three of the pills just in terms of like, here's how the setup goes,
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's gonna be like really disappointed if Choji only uses 2 pills and doesn't like endanger his life or anything.
Yeah.
You gotta follow through. You just have to follow through.
You gotta follow through. Gee, I sure hope Choji doesn't use that loaded gun I propped up against the wall.
God. Maybe he should have. Would have been easier on his body.
Yeah, just kaboom.
Yeah, I mean, like Choji, we cut back to Choji. Choji's also like, oh shit, I better not have to use all 3 of these. Something bad could happen to me. He pulls up the new technique. When again, he describes as human boulders with knives tied around his body. It's scary. I don't like thinking about it. It's bad.
You don't like it?
I mean, like, it's like, There's just a point where like he's got all of the knives like sticking out like pointing out directly out from him, but like all those knives are like running into like dirt and rocks and like trees and shit, and it's like so easy for me to imagine them like pointing back and like pressing into him. It's like, no, those are sharp. You have to be careful.
No, it's okay. It's they're attached with like chakra threads.
I don't know about what do the chakra threads do.
Keep them sticking out. Keep them pointing out. He's grabbing onto all of them and holding them in place with chakra.
Is he?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, it's just like one of those things where it's like I'm not actually comfortable with it, but it just has me off being like, oh no, he could hurt himself so bad. He's like running with so many scissors right now. But like, you know, it works pretty well. He's still like tearing around. He's like breaking through like Jirobo's rock wall. He's like making like car screeching noises as he like turns around while spinning. That's pretty fun. You know, he managed to get like a few cuts in on Jirobo, which isn't really like a you know, I mean, it's cool that his attack worked a little bit, but obviously it's not actually gonna like be a turning point in the fight or anything, right?
Yeah. Also, I'm officially adding Choji to the list of guys who could turn someone into a blood paste.
Oh, absolutely! Oh my god! Like when Shikamaru was like, "Yeah, it was a good thing I didn't fight you." It's because of shit like this. Yeah, like I don't care what like fucking shadow possession you get to do a guy who's like rolling around at high speeds with knives covered on him. Like even if you get a shadow, like fucking momentum is still gonna get you, right? Like
yeah.
How do you like use your like control somebody else's movements to like fucking prevent a knife orb from like tenderizing you? Like what do you have there? Nothing. You're fucked.
Extremely fucked.
Yeah, the thing about the Akamichi clan and their abilities is I feel like they could kill basically infinite normal guys.
Yeah.
And I think that's really undervalued by a lot of the people in the Leaf who seem to think the clan sucks.
Yeah, right. Like they're really good at crowd control, huh?
Right. Like remember like you know back in like the Land of Waves arc, right? Like imagine if fucking I forget what the number of team is. Imagine if Choji's team gets sent out there and there's all those fucking goons on the bridge. Doesn't fucking matter. Choji just fucking knocks them all down. Done for. Easy.
Yeah. Or if it was like Knife Choji. It just fucking bores a hole like straight through. There's just like a blood smear all the way to fucking Gato.
Yeah. Like like Zabuza doesn't even need you to like fucking charge in and like get killed or whatever, right? Like he like
yeah, like who else can just like be a stage hazard, right?
Mm-hmm. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. But you know, it's not a big enough deal to like really do any lasting damage to Drobo, who's just like, you know, he brings Knife Orb Choji to a stop. He like punches him away. Choji goes back to being normal sized again, and Jirobo gives his whole speech about how like, yeah, you know, in every group there's like a guy that all the others think sucks, and it's just like they're just willing to throw him under the bus, right? That's just that's who you are, and I think there's like sort of a sense like I feel like Jirobo sort of like is like, yeah, this is also who I am.
Yeah, like projecting much, dude.
Yeah, right. And like God, and like Choji is like sort of having like a bunch of like flashbacks to like all people being shitty to him basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
I want to you go ahead, but there is something I need to say about this.
Yeah, I mean, like, what do you need to say about this?
Specifically the line in the dub.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that Ino says. It's blah blah blah. You're such a fatty. Mm-hmm. Right, but fatty gets cut off because Choji doesn't like that word. And it sounds like she's saying something else.
Oh my god, no! You know, I know you're gay, but you gotta be careful. You can't just. You still can't just toss that around because you don't like somebody.
God, Choji, you're such a fat.
God. Right, like yeah, like it's sort of thing. It's like, oh yeah, like a lot of people do genuinely think of like Choji this way, and it's like because he has his friend Shikamaru that he's like able to like hold through. But like the thing that really like struck me in this, like seeing all this played again, is like, hey, like fuck Asuma, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Right, like the bit where like we have this like as part of this whole like montage of flashbacks, we have like Choji like training on his own, right? And then like Asuma is the fucking guy who has the gall to like specifically invite Choji out to dinner, right? And be like, oh, I can't believe you're just fucking eating, you fatty. Why don't you ever train? It's like, fuck off, man. Like, what do you want me to be doing here? Do you want me to start doing fucking push-ups on the table? Like,
Yeah, right? Like, what?
like everybody just fucking assumes he doesn't even try. And it's like, it makes me mad. Everybody should be nicer to Choji. He's a good kid.
He's a really good kid.
Strong.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Like like on some level like that. That is like the the undercurrent here is like everybody learns to believe in Choji in this like in our episodes this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also like I feel like the scale in which everybody is just being like really fucking shitty to this kid is kind of being downplayed, right? Like,
yeah, totally.
Because it just really gets to me. Like they gotta be better to him. Come on.
Yeah, what the hell?
What the hell? Asuma is really like doing very badly in the dad's competition right now.
Mm-hmm. God, and like I really relate to Choji here in a lot of ways because like I was that heavier kid who was always like picked last for shit. Like no one was outright like mean to me to my face because I would just fight a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still that like undercurrent of like, oh, we don't really like you and we're not going to be your friend because you're like unathletic and weird.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you know me. Look at me now.
Yeah, you're hot as hell.
I'm hot as hell and the strongest bitch alive. So like,
yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love you so much.
Oh my god, I love you so much.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like in spite of the like very like large sum of like memories that Choji has of like people being shitty to him, which is like very consistent with how like people's interactions with her are displayed in the show. Like he knows that he's got his fucking bro Shikamaru, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like that doesn't fucking matter how many people just like think he's shit because he's got that fucking dude in his corner and they fucking care a lot of each other and it just really like I was like so fucking like at such a fucking small level of emotional room because I'm getting fucking mad at him seeing the flashbacks but then he starts thinking about his friend Shikamaru. It's like, oh my god, I've instantly forgotten how much of a fucking weirdo Shikamaru is all the time because look at these fucking guys, they're bros. Oh my god,
yeah,
it's awesome.
Fucking god, I love bros who believe in each other.
Yeah, oh my god, it is like almost kind of a bummer that like we have like part of those flashbacks of like Shikamaru remembering how much like him and Choji like care about each other, or like is that element of like, oh yeah, like there's nobody I trust to like have my back and like work alongside me more than him, and look, we don't really get we like because of the structure arc, we don't really get any moment of them like working together in that way. But, like it would be cool if we got like a really like fun like Choji and Shikamaru tag team at some point, and like I don't think we ever really do.
Yeah, there was like a little bit of that in the in the dome where they're just like immediately on the same page.
Yeah,
about, like, figuring that stuff out and like getting ready to like bust out, but like
yeah, but I want to see them kill a man together.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like that scene is like it's not even about like them defeating a guy together. It's about like fucking everybody else in that dome like be like like needing to realize they should be like a little less shitty to Choji.
Yeah,
it's just not the same. But like I just got like so fucking amped up at the end of this episode when like Choji has like the Naruto cool stuff music playing as he's like he's making his arm big and stuff. He's like he's taking the second pill. It's just great. It's just great. Because like I feel like he spent so much time being kind of like the he's kind of the comic relief guy in some pretty tired ways, and it's just nice to see him get this moment, even if he like may never really get another one again.
Yeah.
Or do you want to like?
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay.
Episode 114. Goodbye, old friend. I'll always believe in you. Choji grows huge to squish Jirobo, but Jirobo goes to the second stage of his curse mark, turning into a red demon guy. Choji's in a lot of pain from the second pill, and Jirobo taunts him into remembering his childhood, where he was slow and unpopular with the more athletic kids. Jirobo eats Choji's chakra, and last potato chip, Choji remembers Shikamaru sticking up for him to the other kids. Shikamaru and the boys leave Choji directions carved into a tree.
So yeah, Choji is like, he's making his limbs big. He's like swatting Jirobe around a little bit. A lot of this comes down to the fact like this is just sort of like an awkward thing to like convey, maybe, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's definitely an extent with like a lot of this like Choji big limb moments where he seems like he comes across kind of like a stretchy guy, like he's just making his arm really long and stuff.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is like supposed to be the case, but it's just kind of like, I mean, I don't know, like maybe it's like it often feels like it's kind of like it feels like it's kind of like showcasing like, oh yeah, he's like reaching really far rather than like he's like hitting a guy with a big hand or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess those things aren't even that distinct, but like it struck me as like kind of weird in this.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I noticed that it was like not the way I remember it being conveyed all that much.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I remember a whole lot of Choji shit, because Choji didn't do a whole lot of shit, but like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not the like it wasn't necessarily the like idea of what it looked like in my head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Like if you're like imagining him like, I don't know, like in one of the games or whatever, doing like a big super or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not quite like this, Right? Like then he makes his whole self big. He like jumps big up in the air. And he's like, I'm just gonna fucking land on this guy and crush him again. Another moment of like Choji can kill basically infinite normal guys.
Yeah. Because like how do you fight that except for like
what do you fucking do, right? Like you can't fucking run out from him unless you're going like real fast, right? Like he gets so fucking big.
Like dig a hole really fast.
I guess so.
And then suffocate.
Choji just fucking waits there. You're like, all right. I guess like I mean there's some pretty fast digging like ninjutsu and stuff you could probably get like you could probably tunnel away.
Yeah, I mean Jirobe could tunnel away.
Yeah, Jirobe could tunnel away, but he's not really doing that. I mean he's here to fucking kill this guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
this is the problem with people with like big power ups and like huge attacks. It's like they rely on them too much, right? Like with Jirobe's power set. If he had to like, avoid the situation, like he could have saved that power up for later. Mm-hmm. He could have worn Choji down a little bit more. I'm just saying, if Jirobe played this a little bit smarter, he could have totally won.
Oh, like totally, honestly, yeah. Like, I mean, like this is getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but like in terms of like, oh, maybe play this a little bit smarter. There's like a bit where he's like, I mean, like on one hand, like the one level, like this is just sort of like this like classic fucking like, oh yeah, the villain is like gloating, and then. Like it gives his opponent time to like turn around, but also like once he activates his fucking like second stage curse form, right? He gets all red and bumpy, and then he like talks about like, oh yeah, this consumes so much fucking chakra to use, and he just fucking like stands there in it for like 5 minutes. It's just inefficient.
Yeah, if I had a curse mark, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which like I don't want one. Comes with a lot of baggage. Not going to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would pop into that shit, do what I need to do, get it fucking done, kill.
Yeah.
And if I wanted to taunt, I would disengage the curse mark and then taunt.
Yeah.
This is why I don't have one. I'd use it too good, too dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would be too strong. It's like we need to keep the meta balance a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd practice like activating and unactivating it like super fast, so I could just like
like just fast enough to like do like a jutsu or whatever, or like to
or like flash into it just for like for like a single punch.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
I think it might be a sort of thing where it's like once you've like activated it or whatever, it's like you're kind of like weak once you're out of it, but like who knows? You could get past that. You can work through it.
Yeah. I love it when there's like a power up state and you just like flash into it really fast to do like one little thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty sick.
Or to like take a hit, right? If it's like super like durable.
Mm-hmm.
That's like totally my shit.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I have that like chakra armor that I stole from the movie guys.
Yeah.
But it's like kind of unstable, so like that is the kind of thing where like I use my like puppetry to like control different aspects of the armor. And And like activating the like force field is something that I have to like manually do like really fast. So it's not an all the time thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. Like I'm thinking about it, it's like, wow, Gwen's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I've decided that I'm gonna be the like gadgets and gear motherfucker.
It's like a nice way to evolve your like being the puppets guy, right?
Mm-hmm. Right, specifically the puppets guy that's like, I can't really do this from a long distance because I'm like better at just fighting and like I don't know, it's like hard to focus on both at the same time.
Yeah.
Um and so like yeah, I just like I I basically evolved from big weapon to power armor.
Mm-hmm. You still have a big weapon though, right?
Uh I don't know, like I can like I don't whip it out all the time.
Okay. Okay. You save it for when it's really like a good time to have a big weapon.
Yeah. Yeah, but like you know, like it's like kind of hard to look around. So like mostly I keep it like in a scroll or whatever,
Mm-hmm. All
and
right.
just kind of like summon it as needed. But you know, that's usually I can do pretty good with just the armor because like I have moved a lot of the utility of the big weapon to the armor.
Okay.
Right, because like I also like make all of my own equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so like I don't know. I've been getting by more with just like regular shit, as well as like all the like utility of the armor.
God, sorry, I'm like, I feel like I have something to say about your fucking like your Naruto skill. I feel like I'm really like falling behind on my own Naruto like attacks and shit. I gotta train or whatever. But yeah, sorry.
Well, you're a cat boy now.
Oh my god, I'm a cat boy now.
Yeah, you. Like Tsunade is constantly like using transformation jutsu to like you know be like young looking or whatever.
Uh-huh.
You are constantly using transformation jutsu to be a cat boy.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I would do that.
Who wouldn't?
I don't know. Are you doing that?
No, not really.
Okay, so then I guess you wouldn't.
But like I'm not that good at transformation jutsu. I mean, like you know.
Yeah, you're also not a cat boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have like a ton of like Naruto OC ideas to like to buy back. Do you want to like refocus on our episodes a little bit?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, right. But yeah, so Jirobo successfully avoids being crushed, and like throws back Choji again. Choji remembers being a kid and like nobody wanted to fucking play with him. They kind of like begrudgingly accepted it. But, like they weren't really like looping him in on shit, and they're fucking like try hard ninja hide and seek. They're all just doing their best to ignore him, right? Like they talk about like like a thing I kind of appreciate about this is like they're the scenes where we talk about like, oh yeah, Choji, you're just like you're just like too slow, not good at this, so that we're not gonna like we just don't want to play with you, right? But like you also get the impression that like everybody who's on like the hiding team or whatever is kind of like strategizing with each other and just leaving Choji out of it.
Yeah.
Like if they fucking wanted to, they could loop him in, but like the problem is that they fucking suck is that these kids are just fucking assholes, right?
Yeah. Right, and like the kid that was mad at Choji for like getting him caught wouldn't have been caught if they were like coordinating about where to hide.
Yeah. And like frankly, not that good of a hiding place to begin with. I feel like if you just like I don't know, it just seems pretty easy to get found in.
Yeah.
You just hiding by some trash bags. Like if the kid who's looking for you is tall enough, you're fucked, right? Like just try a little harder next time. Don't blame Choji.
Yeah, if the kids were already there to see Choji trying to hide there, then they would have found that other kid. Kids are bastards.
Kids are bastards. But Choji eventually like it just feels kind of like defeated by this. He goes back to like talk to his dad. And like we get this impression like it's not just Choji. Like a lot of people in the Leaf just kind of think the Yakumichis like suck, which is like, guys, you're really undervaluating these guys, these dudes. They're like,
hey, remember when the Leaf was under attack, and you got all of your like civilians evacuated, and then all of them turned huge and just started smashing guys?
Yeah, like hey, remember that?
Hey, remember that?
Like there's guys who could deal with it, like a big man stomping on them, but it's not most of them. I think we had to appreciate them a little bit more, right? Like, there's the whole thing we'll get into like later in this podcast about how like they're the Uchiha clan not being like appeased like led to like the eventual like coup happening, right? I just think maybe we should start appeasing the Akamichis because they could just fucking like knock all your shit over.
Yeah, if they wanted to, they could just like decide to level the town and it would be easy for them.
Yeah.
Right? Because like realistically speaking,
Mm-hmm.
how many guys in the Leaf right now could stand up to just like a giant stepping on them?
Very few, I think, is the answer. Like,
Yeah, right? Like Tsunade definitely.
Tsunade could. I feel like Guy and Kakashi probably could, right?
Yeah, right. Like Guy and Kakashi would like, yeah, they would be among the people that would like survive at the very least, right? Like they would like at least like at the very least like get high ground and known like not to be like fucking stomp level.
Yeah, but also like if you're fucking Kakashi, where are you Chidoriing that guy? What are you gonna do?
Yeah, right. Like how do ants kill a person?
Choji's dad does his best to cheer him up. He's like, yeah, I mean, like it fucking sucks that people are mean to you, but like I promise you, there's gonna be other people out there in the world who like actually fucking care about you or like bother to you with like any decency at all, because fucking presumably Choji's dad's also lived this life and he's just like fucking doing his best to be here for his kid.
Yeah,
This guy's all right. Like every time, what's his name is like Chozo or whatever. I don't know.
that sounds right, but I don't know.
Yeah, but it's also like the name of the Metroid thing, so I'm like, am I just confusing it with the Metroid thing? I don't know.
Oh yeah,
Like,
right.
right. But like whenever Choji's dad shows up, he's just like a really like solid dude. It seems like.
Yeah. Like wait, the only other time we've seen him before, we were just talking about like, yeah, Choji's dad definitely seems like the kind of guy that is just like kind of everybody's dad.
Yeah, like he's just like he's just nice. He's just a good dude. He's there for his kid. That's more than you can say for a lot of people.
Yeah.
More than you can say for fucking Shikaku, who can barely like who like repeatedly fails to explain to his son why he shouldn't hate women,
Christ.
and like doesn't realize and like doesn't pay attention enough to realize that he like made it to the finals of the Chunin exams. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Also, I like how Choji's dad was giving him the like, yeah, the kids don't like you now because kids your age are fucking stupid as hell. But like, like you're such like a sweet kid. You're so like kind-hearted and tender, right? And just like, that's those are things that like somebody is going to like, when your peers are like a little bit older, a little bit more mature, a little bit, more like understanding of like what you want out of like a friend. Those are going to be like things about you that like everyone is going to love.
Yeah,
And
it's like sweet.
yeah, it's so sweet. And I remember having that exact same conversation with my parents, and mine was because I was a girl.
Yeah, and you know what? I love that about you.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Anyway. So what I'm saying is now I'm officially projecting on Choji. Which
is Choji has added the ranks of girls.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like back in the present, Drobo's being a fucking asshole. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go and fucking kill all your shitty friends who left you behind. I'm gonna just fucking he doesn't even seem like he's like planning on like it almost doesn't seem like he's even like planning on like fucking killing Choji here. He's just gonna be like, yeah, I've taken your chakra, I'm just gonna leave you here.
Yeah.
Which again, huge misplay. He like does the thing where he like fucking eats the last potato chip and it's like, come on, guys, we don't have to do this. Like Choji has like so much more shit going on in this fight that is like so much more personally interesting than the fucking gag of like, oh, he wants like the last bite of food.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's just kind of insulting. Like every fucking time they bring it up, it's like just like just like let him be a fucking character that like I don't know. It just like it's just frustrating. It's just like
right, and I feel like early on, Choji like there was a line where he was like talking about it, and he was always just like, yeah, I always like the last one out of the bag the best because like it's nice to like he had his whole like ooh, yeah, like
Mhm.
I'm really appreciating the food, blah blah blah, blah talk, right? Which was just like, yeah, kind of I feel like that like thing, that like conversation, that like aspect of the character, like that specific like thing of like, oh yeah, the less bite or whatever, got like
Mhm.
totally like overblown and just became like a whole fucking character trait in itself. And like
Yeah, right. Like it's just like, yeah, no, totally. Like it just becomes like this extremely like key element to the character for some reason. Like everything he does, where it's like he has enough he fucking cares about here. Like you don't need to do this. Like you don't need to when you're like giving him his like fucking moment, like his like again like the one like big solo fight he gets in the whole fucking show, right?
Yeah.
Like and he has like a personal investment in it. We have this like repeated grounding in like this like relationship that matters a lot to him.
Yeah.
You don't need to like look at the fucking camera and go, oh yeah, and also he's fat in case you forgot. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
also, haha, it's the fat jokes we always tell.
it's like just leave it at the fucking door, like for once,
Yeah, leave the kid the fuck alone, please.
please. So the last thing I want to say is I want to touch on briefly the bit where like everybody's like leaving messages for Choji, right?
Hmm.
So in the manga it's just like Shikamaru like carving the arrow, and like the anime is what adds like Naruto and Kiba also leaving messages. There's a little bit later stuff that like kind of ties it back into like, oh yeah, all of these kids, like all of them were like just kind of dumb kids at the academy together, and so like they like they're like, oh yeah, wait, what like, well, I'm gonna choose to believe in this person that like I was friends with once upon a time, right? And I think it's kind of sweet. I also think it's very funny that Neji does not leave a message.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's so good.
Like he like smiles to himself a little bit, but he's not like
Yeah, he's like, aw,
he's
they're friends. But like, he doesn't know these people.
yeah, he doesn't care. Yeah, okay, we can move on.
Okay. The rest of the sound guys are getting frustrated with Jirobo for not being back already. Shikamaru recalls the day he and Choji became besties. Choji eats the last food pill and activates his own sicko mode, using his family's special technique where they get skinny and very, very strong. Choji also gets butterfly wings and kicks Jirobo's ass for being mean about Shikamaru. Choji finds the messages left for him cheering him on and is brought to tears about his friends before he collapses from chest pain under the tree.
So yeah, we get a little bit of the part of this like this half of the episode where the Sound Four are all like, they're like being like, ah, god damn it, fucking Jerobo's not fucking coming, like Jerobo's not back yet. I bet he's just fucking eating all their chakra like a fucking sicko or whatever. And Zaka's like, god damn it, I wish I stayed back and killed all those guys. They clearly don't really fucking give a shit, right?
Yeah.
They're like looping back into the thing where it's like, oh yeah, Jirobo's like projecting a lot onto like, Choji being like, hey, we're both the same guy. I'm gonna like kill you and go kill your friends because I can't kill like the guys I know about it. Let's see, we get like more of the flashback to when Choji was a kid. We get like the bit of like Shikamaru like sticking up for Choji. I think was like in the last half of the episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to touch on it briefly in terms of like I think it's like kind of a nice moment of him like it's kind of like a real feeling moment of like Shikamaru being the kid who's like, hey, I think it kind of sucks how they're all like treating this guy, but like he like makes his like brief arguments to be like, hey, we should include him, and like it doesn't really take. And he's like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna go because I don't like the vibes anymore.
Yeah, I think it's so sweet that it just goes to hang out with Choji instead.
Yeah, like it is both like. I mean, like it is like it just feels like grounded in the way that kids can be both like shitty and sweet. That like Shikamaru isn't able to give the big speech that makes everybody nice to Choji, right? But he is able to be like, okay, maybe this is the guy I want to be spending time with instead. I don't like fucking throwing stars hide and seek that much anyway.
Yeah, nobody does. They're not even a real shuriken.
Yeah, probably don't even like throw that good.
Oh, they definitely do not. Anyway, can I call out Choji's dad for a sec?
Yeah, okay.
He just sat there smiling next to the boys without saying a word, without going like, "Oh, I'm besties with your dad actually. Hey, hi, what's up?"
Uh-huh.
It's just it is funny to me that this is the first time that these boys are like hanging out together, right? Because like I don't know, like from before you get the impression that like yeah, their fucking like parents are really really close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess like it's nice that but like it's nice that if they were basically like locked into being on a team together, that they can be like they can be good friends with each other. But I guess it's also like maybe kind of nice of Choji's dad to not just like be like, hey, this is the kid you have to be friends with, because like, you know, it's nice that can just kind of happen on its own.
Yeah. No, but like how much do you think Choji's dad was quietly just like fuck yes, fuck yes, fuck yes?
Yeah. Like, oh my god. This is gonna be so good for my boy once he goes to war.
Oh my god.
Like, I don't like Shikagami that much, but these kids, if they're tight, they're gonna be fucking unstoppable.
Like he goes to Shikamaru's dad like right after, and he's just like, dude, you will not fucking believe it.
God. Oh my god. Just fucking got out for drinks to celebrate that night.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful image. I didn't think of it all. But yeah, so they're besties, and like Choji has resolved to like take his final pill, even if it might kill him, and it activates his like super mode, and it's like kind of lame.
Yeah.
Like the big chakra butterfly wings are like cool, and like compressing it into like the fist is like cool, right? But like, it's just not like a like the part where he gets skinny just makes it like it just fucking like undercuts the whole thing to me, right?
Yeah.
Because he's not like it like he's not like, you know, just like winning the fight in his own way. He's like proving to the audience and everybody else how cool he is by becoming like a skinny fast guy, like all of the bullies in his childhood wanted him to be.
Yeah. And like it doesn't look right.
No, it doesn't look right. He looks so fucked up.
He looks sick.
He looks sick. I'm like I'm like on some level, like maybe that's like especially once he's like a little like fucked up, right? Like once he like won the fight and he's like wandering off into the forest, like maybe it's like a little bit of the point, right?
Mm-hmm.
That he's like supposed to look sort of fucked up, but I don't know. Like he just looks, well, like in the anime especially, he kind of looks like a different guy.
Yeah.
Like they need to like either like if they're going through this at all, they like need to like fuck, I don't know, like they need to lean a little more into like it making him look like fucked up on purpose and not like who is this? Who is this boy? Please bring back the other boy. He's less scary to look at. Like it's just like it makes the like butterfly theming like really fucking annoying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if he's like I don't know, if he's just like a you know, a nice sweet kid like likes butterflies or whatever, that's fine. But like when it becomes this thing of like, oh, he's like fucking he's like metamorphosized into his like true powerful form or whatever, and now he's like it sucks. It's just shitty. It's just like,
yeah, it just sucks.
I like you know, like I know like eventually, like by the time of the Fourth Ninja World War, like Choji can just activate like the butterfly wings on his own and he doesn't even get skinny about it. But like that's so far into the future. Like fucking Kishimoto wasn't planning that shit. Like I'm not giving him any credit. Like fucking
Yeah.
Get out of here. It sucks. It's like because there are like bits in this fight that I genuinely like, and it just like it's just it just kind of feels like a failure to engage with the potential of those bits when they do this, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I've said my problem with it. Like I would just be like circling back around again, right? But it's just like it's just lame. I don't know. Do you have more you want to say about that particular aspect of it?
No, not really. It just kind of sucks.
Yeah, it just kind of sucks. Yeah, no, he wanders off to the forest. You know, he finds the messages all of his friends left for him. He just kind of like he collapses under the tree and like he's like remembering all of his friends, which is like, you know, there's some stuff in here that's like sweet, right? There's like, oh yeah, you got the bit of them like all being like shitty kids at the academy together. You know, you've got some stuff with him and Shikamaru, but it's also like, man, it's kind of a bummer that they can't like they don't have like a full like flashback reel of like scenes with Choji in them that like aren't making him kind of a joke.
Yeah, no shit.
Everybody else is like hopping through the trees, and like Shikamaru sees like phantom butterflies like flutter past his vision, which like you never want to see your like bestie's fucking theme animal like fly past you when you're jumping through the trees. It's a bad sign. Like I know Choji's not dead, but like damn, they're really fucking playing it like Choji's dead right now.
They are extremely playing it like Choji died here.
Yeah, right. Like I'm like curious if it was like ever the plan to like be like, oh yeah, this is the real shit, right? Because this is like the first time that like one of the like hidden leaf kids just outright like kills their opponent, right? Like Jirobo's fucking dead.
Yeah.
I'm curious if on top of like the initial intent was like, oh yeah, like this is gonna be serious and like some of these kids are gonna start dying here, right? Like I have a friend who like I was talking to about Naruto at one point who like knew that like Neji died at some point and just sort of assumed that like Neji's fight was what we're covering next because when Neji dies and like it really fucking is like yeah I guess if you're like a kid watching this and you don't know that these characters come back you could just believe that they die here.
Oh, totally.
And yeah, like I'm curious if like that was like genuinely the plan at some point, or if at some point they just like that got walked back.
Well, I mean, like, pay attention to when Choji shows back up again.
Like is it going to be, or like are we going to get like somebody checking on Choji at the end of the arc, be like, oh shit, Choji's alive, or is it just going to be like we cut to part 2, it's like, oh hey Choji, you're not dead.
Right.
Is there anything else you want to say about this episode?
No, not really.
All right.
Is that the podcast?
I think that's the podcast.
All right. What are we watching next week?
Next week, we are watching episodes 115, 116, and 117 of Naruto.
Wow. And if you don't want to wait, you can check out our Patreon. Patreon.com/Konoha Crush. All one word, Konoha Crush. There you get access to episodes up to a week early for just $3 a month. And for $5, you get access to our bonus show, Narukai Uzumaki. If you're listening to this on the main feed, we would have had episode 2 up last week? No, the week before. I don't know, a little bit ago. But if you liked it, you know where to find us.
Yeah, patreon.com/Konoha Crush. All one word, Konoha Crush.
Woo, you did it.
Yeah. You just in case they forgot since you last said it.
Mm-hmm. This month we are watching the slime one. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. It was good, Not going to talk about it here, but it's good.
We have a whole other podcast for that.
Yep. I want to offer a very special thank you to our Jonin tier patrons, Maple, Izzy, featured Jinjariki of the Six-Tailed Beast, and friend of the show, Rife. Check out their streams at twitch.tv/subspaceskater, all one word, subspace skater. Any images we talk about during the show can be found on our Twitter, twitter.com/Konoha Crush. All one word, Konoha Crush. We have a Tumblr now too, if that's more your speed, konohacrushcast.tumblr.com.
Yeah, sometimes I even remember to post the episodes over there.
Sometimes.
Sorry.
And like if you're like listening to this on our like Patreon or like on like Podbean or whatever, but it's like kind of like a format that like you're not really like that into, we're on like Spotify and shit. Like anything you listen to podcasts on, you could probably find us there. So like, if you want to hop on over to your preferred platform, feel free. We're not like exclusive to anywhere. God, anything else to say? Oh yeah. I stream on Twitch. Twitch.tv/GuinevereTeef. GuinevereTeef. There, I stream a lot of art. I've been playing like a little bit of Terraria lately and, Elden Ring with Ira.
Yeah. We're like closing on the end of that, I think.
Yeah, we're getting pretty close to the end of that. On Saturdays, not every Saturday, but on some Saturdays, we have a tabletop RPG stream, like an actual play thing with a few friends, including Rife that we shout out earlier. We were playing Armor Astur Advent. It's a lot of fun. You should definitely check it out if you like the sounds of Ira and I just kind of like bullshitting. I mean, you should check out the streams anyway. Like, he's on my streams a lot.
Like even if you hate both of our asses on the Armor Stir stream, there's like 3 whole other people that you might like better.
Yeah, for real. Most of them are very funny. Yeah, and I think that's about it. Do you have anything else to say? Anything I forgot?
No, I don't think so, right? Like I don't really like have any like active projects that I'm not like working on with you, right? And I don't think you've got any of yours, so like.
All right, well, I guess that'll do it. Hey, thanks for listening. And remember, there is no such thing as filler.